Everyone got your mics on? All right, good evening. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to the September 8th, 2025 regular city commission meeting starting at 6 o'clock. We are going to start with a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Only announcement we have tonight is that Commissioner Binkley is out of town, so she will not be joining us tonight. We'll now move on to approval of the agenda. What's the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All right, Abby, call the roll.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Ulrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
All right, now on to public comment. This is for items that are on the consent agenda or not on our agenda. Please come up to the mic, state your name and address, and limit your comments to 3 minutes.
East Spielman, Lincoln Park, Lions Park Drive. Got a comment. I did a little study. I walked from one end of the Lions Park to the other. Parking's been a big issue. Okay, we all know that. Spaces, whatever. Did you know, if any of you heard it, there's 25 curb cuts on the even side of the street. And on the odd side, there's 4 curb cuts. Just 4. Okay, so one of the issues obviously is that the parkway that you own as a city and that we take care of is just beat to hell. If you look at the parkway over there, it's all great because nobody comes on it, great grass. You guys should think about switching the sides of the street. One, because, and then also I forgot to add, all the fire hydrants are on the even side of the street. So you talk about safety, that's another little thing. Okay, then, thanks, you washed the streets again a couple weeks ago, but the whole motive behind that was to paint another white line. I really, the other white line was fine. I say, why waste the money? One more comment and I'm out of here. I noticed now we have a new little food truck on Main Street, Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A, when they sell anything, one, that's like really sad because of all the people that have brick and mortar that are paying rents and paying taxes, okay? When they sell something in that food truck, I bet you don't see a penny of taxes. They might have to get a license and that's what you get. The city doesn't need a national company we don't need to draw away anything from the people that are already there, food restaurants, whether they're big or small. So if you could, I'm just surprised that you guys would issue them. Do you have food truck licenses? Do we have that here?
We approved a vendor permit at the previous meeting.
Pretty sad though. Slap in the face to all the people. Downtown.
Thank you. Any other public comment?
Good evening, Thomas Barnes, 608 Market Street. I have attended several meetings over the last several months, and I've noticed a pattern. The city council takes a lot of criticism, some justified, some not. However, very little is said of appreciation, and I'd like to address that tonight. I would like to thank you all for supporting the municipal band. The band is a great asset to this community, and you guys every year are faithful to support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment? Okay. Seeing none, we will move along. Item number 7, the consent agenda. Items on the consent agenda include minutes of August 25th, 2025, new board appointments, peddler application, tree trimming and removal, invoice and tax disbursements. And that is it. What is the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Ulrey,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes. All right, item number 8, we have a text amendment, repeat from our last meeting, section 9.8.2 MSOD, Main Street Overlay District, district boundaries and descriptions, Graham Kuchek, second and final reading.
So again, the planning commission recommended approval of this on their August 7th meeting after conducting a public hearing. City Commission approved the first reading of the ordinance on August 25th. This amends the boundaries for the Main Street Overlay District, which allows residential dwellings on the ground floor. It would expand to include the R1 district, and there's a 1-block area between Pearl and Park Street that has 5 properties, 4 dwellings that would fall into that category. Now, a representative from the applicant is here if there's any questions for them. If it's approved tonight, the ordinance becomes effective in 10 days.
Thank you. Any thoughts or questions for Kristen or the applicant?
Just re-highlighting that, this ordinance change paves the way for, space to be converted into additional housing in our city. Yeah, nothing has changed from the previous approval, so.
Yep, again, we approved this at our last meeting, so what is the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the second and final reading of an ordinance to amend Article 9 Special Districts, Section 9.8 MS-OD Main Street Corridor Overlay District, Section 9.8.2 to include properties located within the R1 in the overlay district of the zoning ordinance of the city of St. Joseph, Michigan, based on the factors set forth under Section 22.3 of the zoning ordinance.
Support.
Any public comment on the matter? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Ulrich,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item 9, 9A, Dickinson Park Restroom Project.
Good evening. In October of '24, a contract was approved for engineering design services with Avon Marsh for the construction of a restroom and parking lot at Dickinson Park. Project was associated with the city receiving a Land and Water Conservation Fund grant in the amount of $260,000. The original project estimate that was submitted as part of the grant application in April of '23 was $520,000. The Land and Water Conservation Fund grants require 50% match. Thus the $260,000 grant. You might recall an additional driver of this project was improvements done by St. Joseph Public Schools to the baseball and softball fields last summer. The city and school entered into a 50-year lease in an effort to facilitate the work done by the school. Within the terms of that 50-year lease, the city committed to park improvements, specifically the restroom facility, playground equipment, and parking lot. And the city would strive for those to be completed in a reasonable time after the '25 baseball softball season. The playground is not included in the grant application and part of this project. That will happen independently of this project. As noted, when the grant application was submitted in 2023, the estimated cost of this project was $520,000. Prior to the releasing the bids in August, Avon Marsh estimated the project at $601,000. That said, the city released the bids on August 4th and received 7 responses back on August 26th. Avon Marsh and city staff reviewed the bids to ensure nothing was missed and all required documents were submitted, then verified with completeness of the 2 lowest bidders, who were Pearson Construction at $607,990, which was 1% over the engineer's estimate, and Midwest Construction, their bid was $649,917.13, which was 8% over the engineer's estimate. Avon Marsh then scheduled interviews with both companies and city staff to talk about the project and answer any questions or concerns that city staff or the contractors had. So after those reviews and those interviews, city staff is recommending a motion to approve the bid from Pearson Construction of Benton Harbor in the amount of $607,990 to construct a restroom facility in Dickinson Park. Any questions?
When do they expect to start the project, Greg?
They've kind of indicated somewhere towards the middle of this month, but it's all depending on timing of this approval, contract approvals. it'd be pretty standard contract language for construction projects. So hopefully we can have everything executed this week quickly, and then they can start to mobilize relatively soon. Pearson has indicated that they fully expect to be substantially complete, well, even before February, with the exception that the parking lot wouldn't be paved until the spring because of asphalt. But they intend to try to have the concrete done, the curb done, do some of the restoration. So really come spring, the asphalt plant's open, they're just paving and they're out of there.
Great.
So they do want to move quick.
Great.
Any other questions?
Yeah, it's exciting to see the whole project
Right.
coming together. Yeah.
Seeing it come
been-
together in time for, the start of the next season, in the spring would be great. And then everybody will benefit, from that restroom facility, visitors, whatever your reason for being there will be. So
I move to approve the bid from Pearson Construction of Benton Harbor, Michigan in the amount of $607,990 to construct a restroom facility and parking lot in Dickinson Park and authorize the city manager to execute the appropriate documents on behalf of the city.
support.
Any public comment on the matter?
I just love that it's a local contractor. That's great.
Can we get your name and address for the public comment?
Kim Jorgensen Gain, sorry, can't even say my own name. Main Street.
Thank you. Any other public comment? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Olry.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you, Greg. Next one, so you're up for a little bit. Next one is purchase of an excavator.
Yes. This is kind of a lengthy item, so I'll try to just kind of hit the highlights, and then if you guys have any questions. We're asking for approval of a Sourcewell quote from Michigan Cat for the purchase of one new Caterpillar Model 308 excavator. Sourcewell is a government agency which provides nationally leveraged and competitively solicited purchasing contracts under the guidance of government and education agencies nationally. Sourcewell solicits, evaluates, and awards contracts through a competitive solicitation process on behalf of its members. You can think of it as equivalent to the My Deal program with the state of Michigan. We've used Sourcewell quite a bit in really the last 5 to 6 years with a lot of our larger items. Some of our loaders, actually the dasher boards at the ice arena was through Sourcewell. Because of that national purchasing contract, we get better pricing typically through Sourcewell because we'll have our vendors give us a price through My Deal and Sourcewell to see which one is better. And generally the Sourcewell numbers are a little bit better. So prior to receiving a quote from Michigan Cat, city staff set up some demos of various similar equipment, John Deere and Cat. We tried to do a demo with Case. Case is in the middle of a redesign of the very similar unit, and it was not available. They were not sure when it would be available. So with that, we kind of moved on. We had demoed the Case excavator previously before we bought the Volvo we have. Some of our staff was here at that time, and we're not overly impressed with it at that time. So they were very comfortable with the Cat. They were very pleased with the Cat excavator, with its functionality, some of the in-cab improvements and operation of the excavator. This excavator is considered one of our critical pieces of equipment as it responds to all water main breaks. Additionally, it's used on both sanitary and storm sewer repairs, as well as regular maintenance items such as fire hydrant replacements, valve replacements, service installations, public side lead service line replacements. Keep in mind, our service area is pretty large. It's not just the city that it's servicing. So the excavator usually leaves the yard every day, so it is used quite a bit. We do have a backhoe as a backup, but that backhoe is primarily used by our street crew for road repairs. So if it's used as on water main breaks, it does somewhat limit what other crews in the Public Works Department can do. The existing Volvo excavator, we have received the price from CAT to trade that in. We've kind of gone back and forth on how we've done that. 3-4 years ago, we would absolutely have gone with a auction, and we've been getting very good pricing. Although recently, one of our loaders, we thought we would do better in auction, and we actually did less than what we would have got in trade. So it's a roll of the dice on where these things will go. But all it takes is a bidding war to happen. You know, many years ago, we had a street sweeper where there was three people bidding on it, and it went for way more than anybody thought it would have. So it's kind of unknown, but we just feel like the trade-in value that they're providing is the safe number, and that's why we're recommending the trade as part of this. So, any questions?
Do you know what the original purchase price was of the Volvo roughly?
I want to say it was somewhere around, I want to say somewhere around 120 to 125.
Okay.
And then we bought some of the additional attachments later. You know, in this case, we're asking for those attachments as part of this excavator. So feel pretty good in that 120 to 125,000 range.
Okay, and when we trade it in, will those attachments go with it or do we separate those?
Most will go with it. Some of it will stay with it. Like for example, the compaction bucket would stay with it. But we will, the thumb and the hydraulic breaker, that would go with it because we'll be getting a new one with this excavator.
Okay.
Greg, I want to make sure I'm clear on that. Some will, which one will stay?
The compaction bucket will stay with it.
Okay,
and
will stay with us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
One last question. Do you know what the model number is of the Volvo that we have now?
88. I think they call it like an 88C,
Okay.
but it's an 88.
Okay.
They've got some variations, you know, like it was the 88, then there's the 88B, and then the C.
Okay.
I believe we just,
Yeah,
Might
it's,
have to
it's
see.
on here. It's an 88.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, I just saw it. It's down.
If it breaks, I imagine it's got, you know, warranty
Well,
coverage
they
and
have-
stuff, but beyond that, do you foresee, like, will we be able to maintain it ourselves, or do you foresee any issue with like self-service with buying this piece of equipment?
no, our staff is comfortable. And yes, it comes with a pretty lengthy warranty from CAT. Like with our loaders that we purchased through Case, there is a several year warranty. We can extend the warranty to get us a little bit more time where they come out to us and do the service work for us. But we've had CAT equipment before, so our staff is comfortable with it. CAT is well known for their service, and like when you call them, they're there pretty quickly to take care of you. So yeah,
I'm more so just worried about beyond, once the warranty expires, you know, getting parts, anything that we are able to maintain, you know, as long as you don't anticipate any issues with this service, or even if we're able to do self-servicing to any extent. But
yeah, it's just the difficulty with any of these like critical pieces of equipment that we have is like this is, it's tough for it to be out of service for any length of time because it is so critical to what we do. You know, unlike a B&Z or a Kalen who has 12 excavators and one goes down, like, all right, let's go grab this one. We don't have that luxury, you know, so this is, we can't predict water main breaks. When they happen, we got to respond. So we can't afford for them to be down for any length of time. And with this excavator, it's at a point where it needs like $20,000 in what I'd call maintenance items. But it's going to require it to be down for several weeks that we just can't afford it to be down for several weeks. And that's whether we do it or we send it to the Volvo dealer to do it. It's a several weeks that it's down and out of operation for us. So that's a struggle as they start to get higher on the hours and the use, the type of use we use them, that wears them out quicker. And we just can't be without it. So.
it's a vital cog in our asset management program, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, just one more quick question. I think you've already answered it. You think this is the best way to go, but the research I did was that the life of these is between 9 and 10,000 hours. They figure that's fully used at that point. There's no depreciation left at that point. Just doing a quick search of that model number, the prices range from 35,000 to 50,000 for that year. But the one that's, here's one for 32.5 has 7,156 hours, is almost double ours. You feel comfortable? I know you're not in the used equipment business, but
Right.
and I know it's a roll of the dice. I just want to make sure we're being as efficient as possible here. We did have a bad experience with one thing, but we've had other good experiences.
Right.
Can you put it in an auction and then say, okay, we didn't get the number we want and then trade it in, or does that just not work?
You can set a reserve and say, you know, like, we need this number.
Does it have to be on site though for people to see it, or can we just post it and list it with it here, so we've got no risk of being without it?
Right. So yeah, and that's generally the way we do it is, so we've used Bittergy for a lot of our auctions, which is everything sits on site. It sits out, or at least we have to set it out if somebody wants to come see it, operate it, use it, but it can't leave our yard. So
Right.
yeah, we can do it that way. They don't recommend putting a reserve on it because that tends to hold people back. So it's really, the recommendation is you go all in.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think we could do better. My concern is that anybody that comes looks at it will see these items that need to be, you know,
Gotcha.
the tracks are in really rough shape. Like, they're gonna know, oh man, that's 10,000 right there,
Okay.
just to buy the tracks.
So
Okay.
thinking of that value range that you highlighted though, Mike, you know, $31,000 to $50,000 roughly, you know, should be the value of this model. And we've got one that we're getting 31,000 and we know it needs roughly 20,000 in repairs. Is adding that context of knowing that it needs the repairs, like, more comfortable taking the low end of the value range, because this would be like a poor condition type of trade-in, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know nothing about trading in excavators, but just when I see that number initially, I'm like, that seems really low after,
Yeah.
just 7 years. So it's just kind of a shock value of like, wow, these things are really expensive. So
Yeah.
every year we're gonna be spending 160,000 on a new excavator and a very vital piece of equipment. But it kind of sounds like this is typical for what you'd see for a trade-in, or at least risky route to take.
Yeah, I mean, if 3 years ago, the market was so different,
Yeah.
I would say 30,000 would be, no way we can beat that. It's more of a buyer's market.
Mhm.
And, you know, I think there's more stuff out there and there's more opportunity for them to kind of be picky about what they're buying. And, so.
Okay.
All right, well, thanks for answering all those questions.
I can go either way with it. I really could. I mean, just feel like it's the sure thing.
Yeah,
So,
sometimes that's the better option.
yeah.
What's the pleasure of the commission?
I move to approve the Sourcewell quote for Michigan Cat of Kalamazoo in the amount of $160,474.94 to provide a 2025 Caterpillar 308 excavator to be paid from the motor pool fund, and also to accept the trade-in offer of $31,000 from Michigan Cat for the 2018 Volvo excavator, and to dispose of the 2018 excavator to Michigan Cat as part of the transaction.
Support.
Any public comment on the matter? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Olry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
All right, thank you. You're on the next one as well, I believe. Okay, City Park Sign Fabrication Contractor.
So as you probably have seen, the city has replaced some of our wayfinding signage. And some of those signs included 3 park signs, Lake Bluff Park, Lions Park, and Tiscornia Beach park entrance signs. So city staff contacted Fairmont, who made those signs for us, and asked if they'd be interested in manufacturing an additional 12 park signs to match the 3 that have been replaced. They were very much interested. We asked if they would honor the pricing that they provided in what we'll call phase one of the wayfinding. They said they would do the best they could. Material costs have gone up. That said, based on their pricing provided in the original bid, we had budgeted $63,000 for this project. Their bid came in, or price came in, or quote came in at $63,682. And as I said, our budget amount was $63,000 for this project. And this would replace the 12 park signs at various park locations. The current signs are wood. They're beginning to rot. We take them down in a rotation and we repaint them and we hold them together and put them back out. Some of them had old city logos, some have the newer city logos. So there's they're a little mix matched here and there. So this will get a nice uniform look across the city to replace the park signs. Any questions?
Will the signs be exactly as illustrated here?
Yes.
And the color will be blue, not green, or will they be green?
This color.
This blue, okay. Yeah, gotcha.
They will
And-
match the existing
Gotcha.
signs.
And then the other question I had is just on the quote. It just seems like the installation price of $1,470 per sign. It's 12 signs, $17,640 to install 12 signs. And I just looked at it and thought if it was $100 an hour labor, that's over 4 weeks for someone to install.
Yeah.
Those signs. It just doesn't seem, now is there more to the installation that maybe I don't understand?
Well, to be honest, not sure. Watching them install the existing signs, they had numerous staff on site. They had some pretty cool equipment on site as well. They had this really nice crane mounted truck. It was a crane mounted on a truck, and to place all the signs. So I'm sure you're paying for some of that cool stuff that they had to do this. They do it on a regular basis, so like if city staff was to do it, probably would take us longer just because we don't have some of the equipment that they brought to the table when installing those. So I don't know that I can truly answer. It's
I can jump in a little bit.
not what we do, I guess.
Yeah,
So,
well, the first thing I was going to do is echo that. We are expert in many things. Installing signs like this is not one of them. I think we want to make sure that it gets done correctly. We did reach out to Corbin Design, who designed this and has also done a quality review on the installation, the creation and installation of all of the signs that we've done with Fairmont. So I heard back from them. The cost of installation goes beyond just man hours. It includes equipment, excavation, concrete, rebar, and other work done below ground. The fabrication cost is just the cost of making the sign in the shop. In my opinion, this is a great price, especially with what we've been seeing come through in the past couple of months. So, we, again, not being wayfinding experts, did bring it to the folks who feel really comfortable that, again, it's not just the, however much per hour.
Mhm.
It's also all of this equipment that goes along with it.
Concrete and rebar is really
materials.
cheap.
It's one of many things, but I hear you.
Yeah, it just, if I was putting in my yard, I wouldn't pay $1,470 for somebody to install it. It just doesn't seem right, but. And I love the signs. I think they did a great job with the design, and what they've manufactured so far looks fantastic, really stands out. Got no problem with the sign cost. It's just the installation, but that's what it is. That's what it is. It's not something you would feel comfortable doing, Greg?
Can our staff do it? They are more than capable of doing it. It's becomes a timing issue. So in talking to Fairmont, we get this approved. They're looking at like a late October, November timeframe for install. Our staff couldn't do it at that time between leaf pickup, light up the bluff, all those things happening. No way we're doing it. Then you get into the winter. You're not going to do it then because of concrete and all that. So then you roll to spring and it becomes, okay, now when do we do this? Because we're preparing for, planting flowers and, everything that goes to the Blossom Time Parade, and grass is growing and all that, and it becomes of, okay, now when do we do it? Now where do we store these signs once they're manufactured in here? So that's where I'm struggling is, can we do it? Is our staff capable of doing it? Yes, it'll probably take us a little longer, but I just don't know when we would do it.
Not to
And-
mention the capacity spent, there's going to be other tasks that staff would need to do in the springtime that would then go undone. So it becomes a question of, it might cost us about the same.
We did do the math. Greg did the math. Because we did have that conversation internally and estimating 4 people, which is what we saw that they used. At, bringing in the rate for the laborers, and estimating 10 hours per sign, we're looking at $13.50 per sign, which is $120 less than what they had quoted. And they're expert. And, I echo Greg's point again. Maybe we'd be faster, maybe we'd be slower. We don't know. There would also be some learning curve. But we did do that exercise so that we could compare.
Okay. Okay, will you do me this favor when they are here and installing, will you please call me? I want to watch them install one.
Yeah, and I think it would be smart for Greg and his team to do the same. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
Okay,
Thanks.
it's a deal.
And I think also maybe you mentioned, Emily, too, there would be overtime for the workers. And so that's
Yeah.
just more money spent on overtime. And then, the cost of burnout. I hate thinking about, overextending staff and making them do extra hours. Some people like overtime, some people do not. So I hate the idea of maybe burning out people.
Good news is these signs do look great. And I think it's, the consistency with, especially with the new downtown signs, like this is all going to look great. And hopefully we won't have to do this for a very, very long time. So on that, I move to approve the Fairmont Sign Company proposal for City Park sign fabrication and installation in the amount of $60,682 and authorize the city manager to execute the appropriate documents on behalf of the city.
Support.
Any public comment on the matter? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Olry,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez.
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes. All right, thank you, Greg. Do you still have the next one? Or are you done? Okay, you're
Okay.
done. Thank you.
Is
Next item then
Karen-
is special event application, Downtown Spooktacular.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Paul Knapp, and on behalf of St. Joe Today, I'm excited to present an application for a brand new special event that we'd like to bring to downtown St. Joe, the Downtown Spooktacular. Our goal is to create a new signature event that captures the magic of the Halloween season and adds to the vibrant, family-friendly atmosphere that makes our city so special. We hope the Downtown Spooktacular will transform our downtown into a Halloween destination. We envision a lively, festive event that would bring families and visitors from across Southwest Michigan to experience the spirit of the season. The event would feature a number of attractions, all designed for wholesome seasonal fun for all ages. This will include a pumpkin patch and a decorating station at the private lot at Pleasant Street and Lake Boulevard, which we've already secured with the property owner's permission. Adjacent to the pumpkin patch, one of our ice carvers from the Magical Ice Festival will join us to put on a professional pumpkin carving display. And we'd also hope to host a Halloween market, bringing local artists and vendors and farmers down to offer seasonal goods and treats. But at the heart of the event, we'd like to do a costume parade down State Street through the professionally decorated streets of our beautiful downtown. And finally, we would also we're working diligently to host a hayride through downtown as well, which we're trying to find a farmer to help us do that, but it would be our hope that we could offer that at the Spooktacular. So this new event, it's a natural extension of our efforts to promote downtown as a year-round destination. It would not only provide a memorable experience for residents, but also generate significant foot traffic for downtown merchants. And we're working hard to plan the logistics and are confident that with your support, we can execute this event safely and successfully. So we kindly request your approval to permit the Downtown Spooktacular to become a new tradition in our city. Thank you for your time and your continued commitment to the vitality of our town. I'm happy to
Excellent.
answer any
Thank
questions.
you. Yeah, any questions?
Great idea. Should be great.
Cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
Having 4 kids, 3 of whom still think I'm cool and want to hang out with me. This sounds like a great thing to do, to take them downtown and at a time where we don't have anything else like this, going on. So I love it. Thank you.
I move to approve the special event request from St. Joe Today for the Downtown Spooktacular and direct staff to issue the special.
Support.
Public comment on the matter. All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Overy,
Yes.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla.
Yes.
All right, thank you, Paul. We're looking forward to it. All right, next item is DDA expansion. Yeah, Kelly coming up. Cool.
Hi. So at a previous commission meeting, the Downtown Development Authority was asked to explore the possibility of expanding its membership to allow for a broader representation from interested communities. After discussion at a few meetings, the DDA is recommending an expansion to 11 members, one short of the maximum allowable 12, in order to maintain an odd number for voting purposes. This expansion would allow the authority to fill seats I can talk. This expansion would allow the authority to fill the one vacant seat that became vacant earlier and appoint 2 additional members. The appointment committee has already interviewed 9 interested applicants for the current single vacancy, so there is definitely a strong interest in people joining the authority. Expanding the board would provide an opportunity to engage more of these qualified individuals. So staff is asking for approval of the resolution expanding the DDA to 11 members.
Great. Questions from the commission? This was something we discussed several months ago, and it was at the direction of this body that essentially led to this. And
Yep.
so here we are.
Yeah.
I think that's something we were all pretty much in support of back then. So if there's no questions.
No, I
More is
think,
better.
yeah, I mean, this is the ultimate team group project, right? We all win. The city wins by having the most people that want to contribute, so more people onto this capacity is, our mutual benefit. So I move to approve the resolution expanding the St. Joseph DDA to 11 members.
Support.
Any public comment on the matter? All right, Abby, call the roll.
Commissioner Fernandez,
Yes.
Mayor Thomas.
Yes.
Commissioner Sorolla,
Yes.
Commissioner Overy.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Okay, I believe that wraps up our items. Yes, we're on to reports.
No, there are
No reports. All right, then that takes us to city manager comments.
I have a few tonight. First, yay, Spooktacular. I'm so excited. I'm really looking forward to it, and I would like to use it to piggyback on that agenda item to talk about some other events that we are planning for October. We are working to extend the season in downtown St. Joseph. We are going to do that in 3 ways in addition to the Spooktacular. The first is an event that we'll be hosting on October 4th called Play St. Joe. It will be focused on busking in the downtown. So we are working very closely with St. Joe Today. We've invited musicians to come down, and we're designating specific locations where they can sign up to busk. And we'll have all different musicians throughout the day. It should be a lot of fun. More details to follow on times and locations. Kayla is working really hard to get folks slotted into the right times and places.
You define busking too, because I had to ask.
Busking is playing an instrument for money. So putting out a hat or a guitar case or something like that where folks can toss in a buck or a quarter or whatever it is.
Venmo?
Probably. That's probably dating myself. That's probably exactly right. The second event will be the evening of Spooktacular, which is October 18th at 7:30 p.m. We're going to host a scary movie night. So that will be in the grassy lot just south of Shoes. And folks can bring blankets and chairs and sit in the grassy lot, or they can bring their vehicles and pull into the Apricot lot, the parking lot just south of the grassy lot, and do a drive-in style movie. So it will be Young Frankenstein, and it should be a really fun night. And then last but not least, Truck or Treat, our annual event where we bring in fire trucks and maybe brand new excavators if we have one in time, and all sorts of other big vehicles. And kids go truck to truck. Trick or treating is usually held at the ice arena, and this year we are going to move it to the downtown. So that will be on Lake Boulevard and on Broad Street between Lake and State. And we're excited to move that into the downtown. That will be October 25th from 4 to 6 p.m. as scheduled, but with a new location. So looking forward to all of those events in October. And then the last thing I will add on a very different note is that we have our Parks and Rec Master Plan underway. I am looking at the press table, if you could help us get the word out. There is a survey active through the end of this week. Through the end of Monday, so 1 week from today, to do the survey. So the survey can be found on the homepage of the city's website. So please, if you haven't already done so, share your feedback on Parks and Rec. Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's plenty.
Okay, commission comments.
It seemed like the gentleman's suggestion to look at parking on the other side of Lions Park Drive seems like a good idea. There's always unintended consequences, but I'd like to direct staff to investigate that and report back to the commission for the next meeting. If everybody's in agreement with that, that seems like a logical step.
Oh.
to Possibly get more parking spots and fewer curb cuts.
That'd
would-
be-
Not
would-
run the risk of being in front of that fire hydrant, which is
Right.
Yeah.
a safety issue and a
I think it's
massive
a
ticket.
wonderful idea. I see that Steve has already left. I think it's a great idea. We might need more, different Steve. I always know where to find you. We might need more than 2 weeks, but I think that we can turn it around fairly quickly, and we will do that. I also just wanted to clarify since you brought it up, we did not pay to have the street restriped. That white line was there were issues with the contractor who did it, and they redid it at their cost.
Okay.
Other comments?
Thanks to city staff for giving us, as always, a lot of good stuff to do tonight. But, we talked about some infrastructure projects and, rezoning that is going to pave the way for some more housing in the city. And, those are my favorite things to take care of on commission night. So thank you, staff, for coming up with those and giving us more stuff to do downtown especially. So.
Yeah, and speaking of downtown, I think it's incredible that we had 9 applicants to those DDA spots. So
And some.
love civic engagement. That's the way to do it. There's lots of other committees that you can join as a part of the city as well. So it's just encouraging when we see that many people that want to participate and want to have a voice and take an active role on this side. So thanks to all 9 of those. That's really great.
Great. Couple things that I have. I did spend some time down at the farmer's market this past week and got to meet a lot of nice local and visitors to our nice little town. We got a lot of people interested. People from Wisconsin come here and spend just a weekend. So that tells me that we are a very desirable place to go. Thank you, Paul, and everybody who's making these extra events happen on the shoulder season. Before I even became a commissioner, that was something that was really important to me, is trying to make our city nice for the locals when the tourists leave too, so that we have a lot of events that we can all enjoy, especially for the businesses. There's been so many businesses that have to cut hours in the winter or take a month off because there's just not the business. So the more events we can get, the better off we all are. I don't know where I heard it, but somebody once told me that we're one of, if not the only year-round community between the Indiana border and Holland or something like that. So that stuck out to me as we do have something really special here, and there's more that we can be doing, because a lot of these other lakeshore communities do have just tourism and not a lot of residents. So that's something that we can take pride in and really expand on and make it better for the people who do live here. Another event that we have this upcoming Monday, it is bright and early. Rail Safety Week gets kicked off on Monday at 7:30 a.m. I believe it is, right, Steve? Down at the Amtrak station. So if you're passionate about that, want to come celebrate Rail Safety Week, come down and join us. Other than that, if there's nothing further, we can wrap up. All right, we will end the meeting at 6:45.